Alright, it's Ash from SuperVideos back for another live stream Q&A. This is going to be Q&A number 107. So as always, you guys can ask your questions in the chat. Make sure to put Q&A before your question. And yeah, we'll jump into the questions here. I do have another video coming up that I was just going to do, and then I realized we have the live stream that I can do it, but then I'll do it later tonight. Stay tuned for that. But I also just recently posted a video about Maggie and Negan and how their interaction is going to go. So definitely that's an interesting one. If you're interested, definitely check that out as well. But other than that, we'll wait a few minutes for people to show up here. I think there's one person watching right now, but we'll see how many people join here. Last night we have a pretty good live stream discussion. I will put a highlight of that on the channel later tonight or tomorrow. I'll basically just cut it up and put my discussion so that it's a standalone video. But definitely I'll do that. So if you don't want to watch the hour live stream discussion, you can just see the highlights from that. So that way you can basically check out my opinions on that, and I don't have to do it again because I already talked about it on the discussion. So I'll just create a standalone video and just take highlights from that. With that said, I think we'll just wait for a few minutes for people to show up here. Gonna test the audio here just to make sure it works. Yeah, it's working. All right, so we're good. We'll just wait for people to show up here. I'm all set now. I came about like 2-3 minutes late because I was still editing the last video, and I just quickly kind of wrapped that up and jumped into this live stream here. Yeah, so the chat is open. Ask your questions, and then we'll go from there. We're slowly seeing more people join the stream here, which is great. I don't see any questions yet, but we'll wait a few more minutes to see where everyone is. Coldplay, it can't wait until Michonne talks to Negan. Or I can't. I think you mean I can't wait. Yeah, I mean, if there's more to it than what we've already seen, that's going to be interesting. Because for those of you that don't know, we did get a sneak peek of their interaction, of their discussion or whatever, but that came out like before season 9 even started. But anyway, if there's more to it than that, and I hope there is, that could be very interesting. I'm definitely very interested to see how they build that bond between Michonne and Negan, and whether they're gonna have that bond be the replacement for Rick and Negan's bond in the comics. Not bond necessarily, but their story arcs. The story arcs that's connected to the two. So I hope we see that. I can't wait for it, just like you. Tasha Redenur, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hi, your channel is great. I like the Walking Dead community, and I start my own Walking Dead channel. Thank you, I appreciate it. And yeah, so this is a great community, and yeah, just a shout out to you, I guess, for creating a channel. I'll check you out later and see what you're all about. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Alright, I am back. I was just checking out something on the Twitter just to make sure I have the link right on there, and I do, so that's fine. Alright, we seem to have lost the people that were asking questions. I don't know what happened. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. I was gonna read something. So I don't know if I want to do it here, but since there's no one really on, we'll do that quick. So there is someone on Twitter. They are Kristen Acuna, and it seems like they are they have something to do with The Walking Dead. They're chief Walking Dead analyst, whatever that means. But they posted a photo on Twitter. They actually have a letter that they got from Andrew Lincoln, and it's a pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting letter. I was gonna read it, but I don't want to read all of that right now. But I'll definitely leave a link on the, or I actually retweeted it. So you should be able to see if you go to the Twitter, to my Twitter, you should see it. And of course, if you haven't followed me yet, definitely follow me. That'll be great. But yeah, I have that there, and it's very interesting. If you read the letter, it's definitely, it leads you to think that maybe it is the end for Rick. Maybe he's not going to come back. And like I said, there's been a lot of rumors and a lot of speculations. But at this point, I just don't know what to think anymore. We've got so many mixed signals that it's just so confusing. And yeah, I mean, it's out there. But I haven't really heard of anything concrete for this yet. Anything, you know, that's solid. And I don't mean just spoilers, but any kind of hints, clue, or anything like that. And one other thing I do want to mention, this is a no spoiler community, so please do not put any spoilers in the chat. Keeps us guessing, which is great. But yeah, I think they're gonna follow the exact same scenario from the comics. They're gonna do the exact same thing. I don't think they're gonna change that. But yeah, if you want my full detailed thoughts, go check out the video I just posted like 10-15 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago, something like that. I was actually doing that right before I jumped into the stream, and I did kind of cut it a bit short because I was running out of time. But definitely check out my opinion there on that video because I go on detail there. Cold play stream discussion that we had last night. But yeah, I definitely heard that, and yeah, the more I think of it, the more I see there's a lot of hints that Rick is going to survive and come back. But there's also some clues and hints saying that he's going to die. So I have mixed feelings, but I'm leaning more towards him coming back. Mainly because of comments such as the one that Angela Kang gave, and also the one that Carrie Payton, who plays Ezekiel, said when he said, Rick's story is not set in stone. So that those two comments definitely do give me hope that he's gonna come back. And just to put this out there, I definitely want to see Rick back. Like, I want him to have an open-ended story and come back, because I don't want to have like Rick die or, you know, just go away from the show. But that said, if they do have an open-ended story for him, the only thing that I hate is the amount of theories and speculations that are gonna flood the comments and the community after that. Like, any mystery that's involved now, if Rick is going to have an open-ended story, they're gonna link it to Rick. And I think at some point it could get very frustrating. And because of that, I don't want to have them have an open-ended story for Rick. Not saying that I don't want I don't want to have Rick back. I definitely do, and I think that's a good way to do it. But with that said, just because of the frustration that might come up, because of theories, wild theories, that's what I'm afraid of. That's the reason why I don't want to kind of see that. You know what I mean? Tasha renewed, your thoughts, do you think Rick will live or die? Yeah, I just talked about that. I'm leaning more towards him actually coming back, not dying. He's gonna live. But, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's gonna get frustrating if they do that. And if we do have a lot of wild theories linking everything to Rick coming back, you know what I mean? So, that's my main reasons why I don't like that idea. But everything aside, I do want to have Rick come back. Coldplay, will Michonne and Maggie fight this season? I don't think so. There could be disagreement between them, obviously, because there's disagreement between Daryl and Rick, Maggie and Rick, and even Maggie or even Michonne and Rick sometimes, a little bit to an extent. And I definitely do think we're going to see more like that, more disagreements. But a physical fight, I don't think so. We will see a physical fight between Daryl and Rick, we know that, and they've kind of done that a lot. But I think that's partly them remixing the story, and I talk about that in another video. But it's partially them remixing something from the comics, and it's partially not really like it's not a full civil war, or it's not a full fight. You know what I mean? But they will have a fight. They will have some sort of a fight. We know that. Tasha Rednur, I hope Rick don't die, but if he dies, I want to have a good death, not like Carl death. Yeah, and that's what I've said over and over again. If he dies, he needs to get a deserving death. He needs to get a death where we are satisfied as fans. And he needs to get the best send-off possible. And I hope that he doesn't just get a bite and die from that, or a scratch, or even be surrounded by walkers and die. Because I do think that's underwhelming and disappointing. As epic as that sounds, on screen it's not going to be that epic. It's going to be very simple if they do that. And I hope that if they're going to have him die, they have something interesting and exciting planned for it. Coldplay, did you hear that Morgan's son's coming back in the season finale? I did hear that, but it's not reliable because it comes from IMDb, and IMDb is not a reliable source. So, is it gonna happen? Maybe, but are we confident? No, absolutely not. And yeah, just because of that, I'm not doing a video on that. Because it's not reliable. And you say along with Dwight, same thing. It comes from partially IMDb for Dwight specifically, and it's not reliable. And I think for the Dwight thing, it's partially spoilers as well. So I don't want to get into that too much because this is a no spoiler community. But yeah, so for Morgan's son, I'm I'm not even going to take that as serious because it's not reliable whatsoever. But for the Dwight thing, you know, if it's a spoiler, then whatever, it's out there. But I've said a lot before I've even heard anything like that or any speculations about that. I did say if they're going to bring Dwight back, they're going to bring him back near the end of the episode, the season. And I said like 15, 16, something like that. So that does fall in line with what I have always thought of, always predicted and speculated. So it falls in line with that. But that being said, if it's just speculations, or not speculations, sorry, if it's just coming from IMDb, then it's not reliable whatsoever. But it could be spoilers. I don't really know because I don't follow spoilers. Alright, we are 20 minutes in, so let's go for 15 more minutes. I was 5 minutes late, so that's why. But I usually go for 30-minute live stream Q&As, and this is going to be the same. We'll go for 30 minutes, so we're 20 minutes in. We'll go for 15 more minutes because I was 5 minutes late. So we'll do that. We will basically do 15 more minutes of rapid-fire Q&A. We're not getting any questions here, so let me take a look at the poll. So I did do a couple polls that I do want to go over right now. So one poll, and these polls are on Twitter. I put it on Twitter. One of the polls was, what will happen to Rick? Is he going to die, or is he going to live and come back and return? Only 5 votes so far, which is, you know, I was hoping for more, but we're getting 60% think that he's going to live and return, and 40% think that he's going to die. But again, there's only 5 votes there. But the other 2 polls that I put, one was, will Maggie and Daryl be responsible for Rick's death? We got 53 votes for that, and 2 days left for this one, because I posted this like 5 days ago. The first poll, there's like still 6 days left, so you can still participate, but for this one, there's only 2 days left. So we got 53 votes for this one. Will Maggie and Daryl be responsible for Rick's death? 36% think yes, 38% think no, 21% think it's just going to be Maggie that's going to be responsible, and 5% think it's just going to be Daryl that's going to be responsible. So most people are split between yes and no. Mostly it's on no, so they don't think that they will be responsible, and I hope that's the case. I've done a standalone video on that to share my thoughts on that, but I'm on the same boat. I think that it's not a good decision to have them be responsible for Rick's death if Rick is gonna die. The other poll I did, there's only 2 days left for this one as well, but we got 27 votes, and this one is related to Jadis. What does Jadis mean by A and B? So what's A? What's B? The responses are A, bit, not bit. So bit, alive. You know, A, B, bit, alive. Something like that. The second option is alpha, beta. So A, B could be alpha, beta. Not alpha, beta like the Whispers. For comic readers, you know what I mean. But alpha, beta like being an alpha character or a beta character. And last option is other. So we got 11% think that it's bit not bit or bit alive, however you want to look at that. 78% think it's alpha beta, majority of people, and I agree with that. I'm on the same boat. And 11% think that it's going to be other. Now, I did also do a standalone video talking about that, so if you're interested in that discussion, definitely check out the other video as well that I have. I posted it like a couple days ago, so it's pretty recent. But yeah, so these are the 3 polls that I have. Again, the latest one that I put, which was related to Rick, we still have, let me see. Yeah, we still have 6 days left for that, so you can still participate on those. The other ones, you got to jump on them quick because it's going to end in 2 days. Let's go back to the questions. No more questions right now. We'll go for 5 more minutes here because we are not seeing a lot of questions. So we'll go for 5 more minutes of rapid fire Q&A, and that'll be the end of the stream here. Alright, we are reaching the end of the stream here because there's no one asking anything right now. Alright, so that'll be the end of the stream here. I think there's no one asking anything, so that'll be the end of the stream. I know there's a delay, I think, for like what's showing right now on the stream. For you guys, it's 5 minutes behind, but yeah, that'll be the end of the stream. Thank you to everyone that came on and asked questions. And for those of you that continuously support the channel, I appreciate that. But yeah, that's basically it for the stream. Tomorrow we're going to have an additional live stream Q&A. It'll be earlier. It'll be at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you are watching this after we are live and you want to join us live, try to join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. It's earlier, so people in Europe, for example, are able to join, and it's more convenient for them. That's the main reason why I did that additional live stream Q&A anyway. But definitely check us out tomorrow, join us live, and ask your questions. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.